do it like this. Day 9. Stream4wells challenge. Streamforwells.com. Raising money for charity water. charitywater.org. Good morning. We already got Sister Holly live on the stream. All right, we're on the mend. Can't take any more days off work. Got to go back to work. Got to still stream. Good morning. We are almost a third of the way through the challenge. It's gonna be a hard one. We're gonna do it. A lot of work goes into this. It's day 9. I'm having to write this all backwards. I'm not sure if that looks like, does that look like a Q or a 9? It's a 9. We wrote our signs backwards. I just turned it around and traced the letters. I don't know why I didn't do that 4 days ago. The Facebook filters don't work that great. All right, so today we're talking about Scott Harrison. Every day, good. Holly says it looks like a 9, so it's a 9. Every day we're taking a different subject or aspect of the global water crisis or charity water and digging a little more depth about it to learn more about the charity, the problem, what you guys can do to help, any of those things. Just a little nugget of information to maybe chew on, see if it makes a difference to you. It helps you connect more to this project. So today, Scott Harrison. Who is Scott Harrison? So Scott Harrison, I talked about the book Thirst. I've talked about charity water. Scott Harrison wrote this book. Scott Harrison co-founded Charity Water and is currently the CEO of Charity Water and has been for the duration of the charity's existence for 12 years. And Scott is someone who turned his life around in an incredibly impactful way. So Scott grew up with this life where his mother was very ill. And so from the get-go, he probably says I should try to tag Scott. I have no idea how to do that. I'm not his friend on Facebook. So Scott, he grew up and he was taking care of his mother who had basically, she had a pretty debilitating health crisis. And so was lots of extra responsibility that most kids don't have, and a very kind of difficult childhood as a result. The result of this was he took kind of a hard turnaround turn away from responsibility in his college years and early 20s, and he actually ended up pursuing a life of club promoting. I don't think the concept of club promoting like in itself sounds that horrible, except if you're good at it, you're basically drinking and doing drugs 7 days a week, and you're bringing the most beautiful women and richest people you can to these locations to spend all their money on alcohol. And so he was living in New York, getting really good at club promoting, learning from the best. And all this time, his life was kind of falling more and more into this degenerate state where he was morally bankrupt. He was enjoying it less and less. And by his late 20s, he was depressed. He just didn't know what he was doing with his life. He had people upset with him. He had threats against his life. So the first probably third of the book, Thirst, approximately, I didn't count the pages and divide it, is kind of this pre-story of Scott's life and setting the foundation for what would ultimately really be the catalyst for him giving his life what is looking to be like it's going to be the rest of his life to charitable giving and to solving problems for other people. So Charity Water is about, the organization is about bringing clean water to people. So you might say, well, why would I care about Scott? I mean, it's a good story, but how does that help people? How does that help people that need water? And how does that change your relation to helping people with water? Well, there's two things that I think there's a couple things that Scott wanted to tell people when he wrote the book Thirst and when he shares his story. The first is that your life is never too far gone to turn it around and become a meaningful, create meaningful existence in your life that helps people, that gives back, that puts more into the world than maybe you take out of it. Scott was in such a place. I mean, he had hit the bottom of rock bottoms in terms of having less than no meaning in his life and just kind of sucking any amount of short-term pleasure out of his life, that he took that caused him to take a 180-degree turn in the biggest possible ways. And that's what first led him onto working into a hospital ship for a year and things like that. And ultimately started the path towards him learning about the water crisis and starting a charity, knowing nothing about charities. I mean, he had worked for one for a year and a half when he started Charity Water, but beyond that, he knew nothing about how to start a nonprofit as a legal tax entity. He knew nothing about running a business. He knew nothing about managing people. He knew how to club promote. He took a life of depravity and a life that was meaningless, and in a matter of years, turned that around into something that would ultimately provide clean water to millions of people based on the foundation of his and a few others' efforts as they started Charity Water. We don't all have to be Scott Harrison. Like, I don't think it would be possible for us to all drop all of our lives and go focus 100% on the global water crisis. But I do think it's possible to re-examine our lives and what we do on a day-to-day basis and evaluate if the work we're doing is meaningful and if we're, trying to contribute more back into society than maybe we take out of it. And we can't always do that right away. Like even Scott didn't, when he was decided he was going to go work for charities, he applied to a bunch and he kept getting turned down because it turns out it's pretty hard to actually go work for a charity, even though he was willing to do it for free. And so it's not like you can drop everything, and we have responsibilities and jobs and bills to pay and things like that. But maybe there's one area in your life that you can pivot and do something different. And whether it's for this organization and this fundraiser that I'm doing or something else that's meaningful or important to you, there might be an area in your life where you can say, hey, I'm spending this time every week doing something that's not productive or negative in my life, and I want to stop doing that. So maybe you can just replace that time with doing something else. And initially, it might not even be something for somebody else. Like you might not be able to take that thing that's negative or not contributing to your life in a meaningful way and turn it into giving to someone else. Maybe initially you need to do something for you. So if you're going out and you're gorging on pizza every Friday night, you're spending money and time and you're not being healthy. And that you might not be able to change that into serving food for the homeless right away, but maybe you can start that with replacing it with a healthy activity and eating something healthy and cooking a meal at home. And eventually, if you do enough things to kind of pivot your own self-responsibility into something that's more beneficial to you, you'll have enough motivation and gusto and ability and control over your life that then maybe you can start giving a piece of that back to somebody else. And so then you can start serving food to the community or serving others in some way. So Scott Harrison, he's the other thing is you never know what kind of skill set you're building, even when you might not be serving something practical immediately. What you're learning and doing throughout your life can serve you in another way. So Scott Harrison was really good at club promoting, right? He could bring in all these people with money and get their attention. And he took his same email list that he had been using for club promoting, and he started an email list before email lists were a thing. So he had 10,000 people on an email list, and he gets back from Africa and the hospital ship and had taken all these stories and pictures with people with these massive facial tumors. And I'll see if I can pull one up for the stream really quick. And he sent out an email to his club promoting list. And he sent out pictures like these. And this is a little bit gruesome if you're eating your breakfast in the morning. But he sent out pictures like these of people with massive facial tumors, and then the after photos of how their lives were changed. And to these people that he used to been going clubbing with and drinking and doing drugs. And so he took this life of depravity and these contacts and this ability to call upon people to do things and shifted that natural talent into something that was ultimately selfless and 100% in the interest of serving others. Yeah, I mean, it can be hard to step out and do things for other people. And I mean, I know that it's something that I struggle with, and that's because it's hard. You're like, I have time, I have responsibilities, things I want to do. I was really motivated to do this challenge, and I had this idea, and it kind of stuck with me, and I almost didn't do it, right? You get inspired to do something, and it's really hard sometimes it's hard to capture that motivation. But I decided I had to start by a certain time if I was going to do it. And so, after thinking about it for a couple weeks, I'm here, I'm doing it. I don't know if it's as successful as I wanted it to be. Maybe I wanted it to be more, maybe less. It's still early. We got 21 days, but we've raised $800 for Charity Water. We're making a difference. How can the founder of Charity Water make a living? Holly's asking questions. We talked about that on day 5, I think, when I talked about Charity Water. Charity Water maintains 2 separate accounts. They have an operations account and they have a clean water giving account. And the operations account is funded by private wealthy individuals that they speak to and are very selfless and donate money just to the overhead of Charity Water. And all of the public donations they receive stay in a separate account. And they even reimburse the credit card fees back to the clean water account from the operations account. Holly's throwing the stream off track. She's asking questions. That's okay. That's what we're here for. That's why we do it live, so that we can engage people in real time. They can see why we chose this organization. Scott's story is obviously, very personal to him. It says right on the cover, it's a story. It's a story of redemption. Scott doesn't think he's better than you or me. Scott just thinks that he was in the right place at the right time with the right feelings in his life to be able to pivot his life in a different direction and make a difference and build a life that was worth living and a life that had meaning. So, if that's inspiring to you, I hope it is. If it is, go buy a copy of the book for Thirst. Read about Scott. Read about what Scott did. We talked about Thirst yesterday or a couple days ago, but the book's $17. If you buy it, you unlock a $30 donation to charitywater.org, which is great. It's a good story, if nothing else, and I think it is motivational. And stories are what connect us to causes and meaning, and they're more than just facts. I mean, some people thrive off facts more. I can sit here and tell you 663 million people don't have access to clean water, but telling you a story about one person might make more of a difference to you and might make more of an impact and be more meaningful. And I think, as I mentioned, as I've been mentioning, over these next weeks, I am going to be trying to dig into more of the stories that Scott shares about individuals and how water has impacted their life, and individual stories about different villages, different people, how clean water made a difference in their life, or how not having clean water ultimately ended their life. That's what's going on. I don't really have more for you today. I'm still like 1 day behind on blog posts. I got to get day 7 and 8 up still. Today is day 9. We had, I don't know if we had some donations yesterday. So that brought us up. I think we're up close to $800. That's great. I'm going to really start pushing on that donation chant probably at about day 20, 22 or so. In the last week, I'll start pushing people to pull out their wallets. $5, $10, anything counts. But yeah, we do want to hit $3,000. We do want to bring 100 people clean water before the end of the year. My challenge has 21 days left, but my campaign will be up until, I think until the 31st of December. So that's what we're doing. Holly, since you're our live audience at this ungodly hour of 7:20 a.m., when everybody else is either commuting to work or sleeping, do you have any questions? What do you want to know about Charity Water? I'll read them off for the replay later. She's probably driving and shouldn't be typing. She already asked her one question. All right, well, from a sickness standpoint, my energy's at about a 70, 75%. My throat's feeling better. I just took some Tylenol this morning to help with that. Got lots of work to catch up on today. So it's going to be a busy day. Tomorrow, Thursday, Friday will be very busy days. Friday evening, I think Nicole and I are going to do something different. We got a new board game. I think we're going to try to live stream it while we enjoy some beverages. One thing I really haven't done that much of since I started this challenge was sit down and enjoy something to drink and just stream, because I just been chugging all my beverages for the most part. I had a 20-minute stream on Thanksgiving where I enjoyed a glass of wine, and another like 12-minute one later. 12 minutes is too fast to drink a glass of wine. It's not the same. So we might drink some stuff on Friday and live stream us playing a board game. And that might not be interesting to you, but it's more interesting than me watching TV drinking something. So that's what we're gonna do. Maybe we'll be live on Twitch at the same time with a top-down view if people are interested in that. Maybe we'll reach some new audiences. If you found any of these streams interesting or fun or entertaining, I hope you'll share them with your friends and family and get your community engaged. Maybe do a 24-hour challenge of your own. Streamforwells.com/start to learn how to do your own 24-hour or longer live stream. We've had one other person join the campaign who raised $300 towards the goal of 3,000. So thank you, Marcus, for doing that. We talked a little bit about Marcus yesterday morning. You could raise the next $300. 10 people, clean water. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, so that's what's going on. I'm going to sit here and drink some more beverages for a little bit before I get to work. Like I said, it's going to be a long day. That's what happens when you take 2 sick days and a Thanksgiving weekend. So got some emails to catch up on, got some stuff to do. I got to issue out my challenges, so I'll do that right after I finish this. And yeah. Chugging tea. One thing I never see on Facebook Live is how long. Oh, there you go. I pressed a little button. It's a 19-minute stream. All right. Well, with that, I'm gonna go. I'll be on in a couple minutes with at least a few challenges to go out. We'll see if anyone accepts today. If I've challenged you and you haven't accepted, and you're watching this, why haven't you accepted? 24 hours, little inconvenience. Put the phone in front of you, say streamforwells.com, drink some water, go back offline, see if you can get people interested. All right, that's all for this morning's live stream, the AM stream, where we talk more about charitywater.org and bringing water to other nations and people that don't have access to it. We'll see you around today for all the rest of our live streams. I wasn't talking to you, Holly. Holly thinks I was calling her out. I know she's going to do it. I'm not worried about her. I was literally talking to the people that haven't even responded. Holly's going to do it. I'm confident she's going to raise more money than I have in 30 days with her 24-hour challenge. That's what I think. I think she's got that kind of network and friendships. So, all right. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the shares and the vote of confidence. And thanks for following along. Bye.